Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Thank you so much for being here. First, I call upon Member of the Board of Governors, Catherine Martin, to welcome us to this territory.
Koe, madawaloptiok. Quay. Yay! They know. Good afternoon to one of the proudest moments of most of your lives. I'd like to welcome you to the unceded territory of the Olnu, the Mi'kmaq, my ancestors, my family, and it's an honor to be here today as a Board of Governor, as the Director of Indigenous Community Engagement, but especially as alumni, and I know how you're feeling over there right now, and I also know how you feel as parents. So I want to welcome you all and thank you for all of the work that you've done to support one another through this incredible journey. Yo ya hi he ya hi yo. Thank you, Great Spirit, for thunder in the sky. Thanks for the seasons that are part of life. Thanks for the daytime and for the night. And thanks for the way of your lives. Yo ya hi ya hi yo ya hi yo ya hi ya hi yo yo ya hi ya hi yo. Taho, Emset Nogama, Walaliok.
Please be seated. We've been very privileged to have Douglas Ruck, KC, as the chair of our Board of Governors, and who has assisted us enormously in moving forward and surviving the ravages of COVID, some of which are still present to us. So it is with regret, but with optimism and hope, that I've asked the Vice President, Dr. Sarah Clift, to present the remarks that our chair would have given were his health sufficiently able to do this. Sarah would like to say she's honored to be able to read these words, but they belong to the chair of the board.
Thank you, Tom. So yes, as Tom said, I offer these words on behalf of Douglas Ruck, Chair of the Board at the University of King's College. On behalf of the university, I thank our friend and colleague Catherine Martin for her words of welcome. Let me acknowledge that today we gather in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This territory is governed by the treaties of peace and friendship, which Mi'kmaq and Maliseet people first signed with the British Crown in 1725. The lands remain unceded, as the treaties did not deal with the surrender of land and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Maliseet title and established the rules for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations. I also acknowledge that African Nova Scotians reside in this province as a distinct people whose histories, legacies, and contributions have enriched and been an integral part of Mi'kma'ki and Nova Scotia for over 400 years. We are all treaty people. I ask now that you join me in a moment of reflection and thanks for what is an exceedingly important day in the lives of the students whose accomplishments we have come together to celebrate. Catherine's presence and her words bring to mind the recent news story of an Indigenous broadcaster in Australia who stepped away from his duties due to the onslaught of racism in response to his views on colonialism. He said that he was doing so because his soul was hurting. Far too often, we inflict pain and suffering upon the souls of Indigenous peoples and others because we may occupy positions of authority or live with deemed entitlement. Dr. Martin Luther King once remarked that, and I quote here, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" With that in mind, let us consider this day as the outcome of people coming together to share thoughts and ideas, people coming together to make a difference in individual lives and the lives of various communities. Let us lift up others in the manner that others have lifted us. Let us be ever mindful and thankful for what we can accomplish together. May we always do our utmost not to cause pain to the souls of others. Thank you.
King's College is full of beloved administrators. After today, I might not be one of them. But our vice president and our president have steered this ship through the most appalling worldwide events, and we are here today to celebrate. And in that spirit, William Leahy.
Being introduced by Tom is always an adventure. You never know where he's going. So I'm going to start my remarks, but I just first want to say that, boy, I wish you all could see what we see from the platform. This is such a beautiful audience and crowd, and it's just exciting to be looking out at you all and celebrating this event with all of you. So with our Chancellor, Deborah Dean Little, and my colleague, Dr. Frank Harvey, it is an honor to welcome you to the 233rd Encaenia of the University of King's College, one of the birthplaces of university education in Canada. And welcome to the Encaenia of the amazing King's graduating class of 2023. So things are going pretty well so far. I got 2 rounds of ovation. That's great. I haven't even got started. We are honored today to have our Minister of Advanced Education, the Honorable Brian Wong, with us. Welcome, Minister Wong, and thank you for being here for our graduates, and thank you for being here to all our distinguished guests. We gather for this Encaenia during the 100th anniversary of the association between Dalhousie and King's. That makes this gathering 2 celebrations in one, a King's Encaenia and a Dalhousie Convocation. I ask you to keep this in mind if you start to ask yourself questions such as these. I wonder how long this ceremony is going to last. Is there going to be an intermission? Or will this ever end? Dal has many graduations. King's has one, but we make ours last. Together, Dalhousie and King's offer a unique hybrid model of higher education that combines a college experience with the rich academic diversity and specialization that can only be found at a leading university of Dalhousie's breadth and quality. It is a partnership that has stood the test of time. This Encaenia is also happening during our celebration of the 50th anniversary of our Foundation Year program, FIP, the original seminal books program in Canada. FIP defines us as the small university that grounds undergraduate education in the biggest of ideas. We are, in many ways, the university of the book, which now includes all the books being written by our graduates in the King's Dalhousie MFA in Creative Nonfiction. The first degree of its kind in Canada, soon to be joined by our second MFA degree in creative writing, the second one in fiction. We will soon applaud each of our graduands as they cross the stage, and rightly so. Among their varied accomplishments is one that unites them. They have together persevered in a global pandemic and its wake. I am confident they know they have done it together in many other ways as well. For example, most of you graduating with bachelor's degrees in arts, journalism, science, and music have conquered FIP together, giving you an intellectual foundation for lives and careers you will forever share. Additionally, you have all embraced your place in the communities of learning of the diverse fields of upper year studies you have pursued at Dalhousie and King's. Those of you graduating with your journalism honors degree have together produced your own online newspaper, the award-winning Signal. And those of you receiving your BJ or MJ degrees have been through a crash introduction to journalism that is not only like a boot camp, it is actually called boot camp. And MFA grads, you have honed your writer's craft by forming a community of writing with each other and your mentors. So these are just a few examples of how learning at King's and Dalhousie lives up to the precepts of communal living and learning of the King's Matriculation Oath. In a time when social isolation is causing so much harm and loss, this is no small thing. To honor how our graduates have lived and learned together in community through turbulent times, I ask the rest of us to rise in our places as we are able, here and on live stream, to give the brilliant, caring, and beautiful class of 2023 the loud and sustained ovation they collectively deserve. Now, that was amazing, by the way. Thank you very much. Now, graduates, this is not in my script, but I think you should take that as a challenge to stand up and make noise for everyone who's helped you get to this moment in your lives. Let's hear from you. That was very good as well. So, graduates, this Encaenia is about you and your families and friends. It is, however, also a celebration of some larger themes. And I'm going to lay out 3 of them for you. At every Encaenia, we celebrate the role that interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary education in the arts, sciences, journalism, and fine arts plays in shaping the widely educated citizens our world needs to solve complex problems, create opportunities, and help the world to be more beautiful and more humane. We celebrate the role that independent journalism in the public interest plays in strengthening and preserving our democracy, now in an age of disinformation, misinformation, and the polarization they feed. And we celebrate the enduring power of books and of the bond between writers and readers to delight us and help us understand ourselves and our world and provoke us to action. Graduands, Encaenia means beginning, your beginning. These larger themes anticipate the futures lying before you. The degrees you receive today matter, and they represent the difference in the world you are and will make. Our outstanding honorary degree recipients, Catherine Burton and Kim Cairns, are wonderful exemplars. Both have built their careers of distinction, accomplishment, and service upon BA degrees conferred in earlier Encaenia. They know the relevance and power of your degrees will only increase as your experience of the world expands. We here at King's and Dalhousie are full of pride for what you have accomplished and the people you have become in our shared academic community. We look forward to our new relationship with you as members of the King's Alumni Association, which of course is the oldest in Canada. For today, go with our love, knowing you will remain in our hearts and that you will always be welcomed back with open arms to your college and to both of your grateful universities. Thank you.
Just taking a moment to avoid making an inappropriate introduction. But I've been defeated today because we're so dependent on Dalhousie, we're so dependent on Dalhousie's friendship, and we're so dependent on Dr. Harvey's support of King's every single day. There isn't anything more to say than we are honored that you would come today to the King's Encaenia in the midst of all your duties in this May to address us.
Thank you very much, President Leahy, members of the academic procession, friends and family members, esteemed guests and colleagues, and most importantly, our graduates. It is an honor for me to be a part of this important ceremony. The University of King's College, as President Leahy pointed out, the University of King's College and Dalhousie University have worked together for 100 years now, building a unique academic programming experience that have been enormously beneficial to both institutions and to our students. And President Leahy outlined some of the excellent programs that King's and Dal offer together. This is an incredible academic partnership. It reflects our mutual respect and common commitment to academic excellence. And of course, we're looking forward to celebrating the 100th anniversary. For many, your graduation today is likely surfacing a range of different emotions. I suspect sadness at leaving a community and many close friends. For some, eagerness to move on from King's and from Dal to begin a new job or a new academic program. Certainly gratitude, as we saw earlier through the applause, for those in your lives who've supported you along the way. Possibly a little fear and anxiety for those who aren't quite sure what's next. Don't worry, you will find your path. But above all, I hope you feel pride. Convocation marks the culmination of years of very hard work, and your hard work deserves to be formally recognized, formally acknowledged, formally celebrated. Throughout the completion of your degree, you've spent hundreds of hours in classes and tutorials and labs. You've read thousands of pages from books and journal articles and research reports, written and studied hundreds of pages of notes and extracted notes from classes and those books and those tutorials. You've drafted hundreds of pages of essays and reports and other projects. You've practiced and delivered dozens of presentations in person and online. Some of you participated in the production of theater and music performances, explored new cultures and languages, engaged in and with local groups and organizations through community service, earned valuable work experience through experiential learning opportunities. You found time to be student leaders in societies, athletics, extracurricular activities. You conducted numerous interviews, workshops, internships, completed intensive residencies and manuscripts, and thought on your feet at least through 2 of King's famous oral exams. And what has your liberal arts education provided as a direct consequence of the enormous time and effort you've invested over the last 4 to 5 years? An essential foundation of knowledge and knowledge mobilization skills, evaluative and critical thinking skills, creative and deeply reflective reading skills, obviously effective oral and written communication skills, problem solving and pattern intelligence skills, synthesis skills, and the ability to express the results of your analysis and evaluation, the ability to pose questions and to conduct research and organize your thoughts, to answer them, information literacy and skills associated with learning how to learn, the exercise of independent judgment and ethical decision-making, self-confidence, self-understanding, the ability to cooperate and work in teams, and sensitivity to cultural differences. Why is all of that important? I'll offer 2 reasons. There are many, many more. I only have a few minutes. First, a quote from Steve Jobs. It's in Apple's DNA that technology alone is not enough. It's technology married with the liberal arts, married with the humanities, that yields the results that make our hearts sing. Smartphones, iPads, other tablets are essentially slabs. It is the news, the commentary, the essays, the political and social analyses, the debates, the literature, the images, the music, and the entertainment. In sum, it is the digitized content that we all access on a daily basis that is so heavily grounded in the humanities, the social sciences, performing arts, and that bring these technologies, these slabs to life in ways that are meaningful, inspirational, motivational, and occasionally frightening. The second reason your degrees are so important, consider the central puzzles, challenges, crises, and central priorities facing governments and NGOs and citizens today. Peace and security, how to mitigate and manage local and global conflict, crisis, and war. Climate change and the imperative to build sustainable and just economies and societies, gender equality, race relations, social justice, welcoming refugees and building strong, vibrant, welcoming immigration strategies, implementing the recommendations from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, strengthening partnerships with First Nations and Aboriginal peoples, engaging with these communities and their traditional knowledges, managing global pandemics and related social and community impacts, the risks and ethical dilemmas associated with artificial intelligence and emerging technologies, including the risks that AI poses for democratic institutions, including our elections. The list is endless, but these issues, these debates, these challenges, the core elements of their solutions are grounded in the understanding of people, cultures, societies, governments, policies, barriers to progress, and how and why we interact with one another. Progress on any of these issues and puzzles will be impossible in the absence of students graduating from humanities and social science, and journalism programs like the programs you've just completed. And I know that as you've completed your respective degrees, you also spend a good part of your time managing and balancing school and work, family, social lives, dealing with the fears and anxieties about your programs and your future, dealing with relationships, dealing with social pressures, managing your budget, in many cases completing your degree while juggling 1, 2, possibly 3 jobs to cover tuition. And you had to do all of that while navigating a global pandemic, the transition to online and hybrid learning. That required incredible focus and perseverance and dedication. And I'm sure you dealt with personal and emotional crises and losses, possibly losses tied to the pandemic. So don't let anyone tell you, now that you've graduated, that it's time to get in the game. You've been in the game for 4 to 5 years. Your graduation speaks volumes about your capacity and your willingness to succeed anywhere by applying the life lessons, the skills, the knowledge, the passions, the resilience, and the life choices that you've been making for 4 to 5 years. These are some of the reasons we're celebrating today. These are some of the reasons your family, your friends, everyone on the podium, on the stage, the entire Dalhousie, the entire King's communities are so incredibly proud of you. These are the reasons that you inspire us. So feel free to make a lot more noise. Congratulations and thank you.
I call upon Dr. Jennifer Andrews to present the names of the successful candidates to our President of Dalhousie.
Thank you. President Harvey, I have the honor to present to you the following candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
By the powers vested in me by the Senate of Dalhousie, I confer the degree of Bachelor of Arts on the following candidates.
Okay. Dylan Jacob Alec. Yeah, thank you. Dylan Jacob Alec. Major in political science and law, justice and society with distinction. Hi. Okay, she's going to tolerate me. Eileen Celestine Atiwoto. Excellent. Bachelor of Arts, major in International Development Studies with a minor in Sociology and Social Anthropology of Social Justice and Inequality. Okay, so Corey David Awerter, major in Law, Justice and Society with a minor in Russian Studies. Brenna Bagnall, first-class honors in psychology and social anthropology. Sam Berenger, Bachelor of Arts, major in philosophy. Miriam Julia Bonello Macquarie, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both Gender and Women's Studies and Sociology, first-class honors. Alexandra Madison Bourdignon, Bachelor of Arts with honors in International Development Studies and a minor in Contemporary Studies. Cassandra Jane Burbine, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both English and History with a minor in Early Modern Studies, first-class honors. Eliza Ristine Burrows, Bachelor of Arts, major in International Development Studies with a minor in Environment, Sustainability, and Society. Lucy Mary Cody, Bachelor of Arts with honors in Psychology and a minor in Sociology and Social Anthropology. Brooklyn Craig, Bachelor of Arts, double major in French and Environmental Science, distinction. Susanna Joy Cupido, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both English and Psychology, first-class honors. Ellen Joanna DeBeer, Bachelor of Arts, double major in Economics and Law, Justice and Society, distinction. Sam Delaney, Bachelor of Arts, major in Cinema and Media Studies. Kaylee Garland, Bachelor of Arts, major in Law, Justice and Society with a minor in Journalism Studies. Victoria Gibbs, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both Political Science and International Development Studies. Great. Jimmy Gibson, Bachelor of Arts, distinction. Lucretia Victoria McGaw-Groff, Bachelor of Arts with honors in psychology and a minor in creative writing, first-class honors. Abby Hansen, Bachelor of Arts, major in history, distinction. Leah Hartland, Bachelor of Arts, major in sociology and social anthropology with a minor in health studies, distinction. Kaylee Elizabeth Hines, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both environment, sustainability, and society, and Spanish. Isabella Jeffries Aldrich, Bachelor of Arts, major in English. Hey. Brendan Christopher Kay, Bachelor of Arts with honors in classics with a minor in esoteric and occult traditions, first-class honors, University Medal in Classics. Lauren Kruselbrink, Bachelor of Arts with an honors in English, a minor in classics, and first-class honors. Callahan Lang, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both philosophy and creative writing, first-class honors, University Medal in Philosophy. Peter Lee, Bachelor of Arts, double major in philosophy and classics. Isabel Teresa Little, Bachelor of Arts, major in law, justice, and society with a minor in French, distinction. Nalini Natalia Maharaj, Bachelor of Arts, major in psychology with a minor in law, justice, and society. Thank you. Trisha Malik, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both English and creative writing, first-class honors. Emily Elizabeth Mears, Bachelor of Arts, major in political science with minors in contemporary studies and history. Leah Blanche Nickerson, Bachelor of Arts, major in English. Olivia Leah Paul, Bachelor of Arts with honors in political science, Eric Dennis Gold Medal, first-class honors. Alteun Gallego Pilapo. Good? Okay, thank you. Bachelor of Arts with honors in both social anthropology and international development studies, first-class honors, University Medal in social anthropology. Natalie Porter, Bachelor of Arts, major in English with minors in creative writing and early modern studies. Jack Whitney Ramsey, Bachelor of Arts, major in English with a minor in film studies. Mitchell Joseph Rutledge, Bachelor of Arts, major in sociology and social anthropology with a minor in history. Faith Noel Sarr, Bachelor of Arts with honors in international development studies, a minor in journalism studies, first-class honors, and the University Medal in International Development Studies. Good. Callum Murray Saunders, Bachelor of Arts, major in history with a minor in political science. Von Maltzen. Clara Elizabeth von Maltzen, Bachelor of Arts with honors in Law, Justice, and Society, first-class honors. Jessica Perkins Walker, Bachelor of Arts with honors in theater, first-class honors. Sabina Wilmot, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both English and creative writing, first-class honors, University Medal in creative writing, University Medal in English. Wolfenden. Okay. Elizabeth Marcille Wolfenden, Bachelor of Arts, major in political science with a minor in international development studies. So do you want okay. Xiaowen Niang Narissa Zhang, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both classics and philosophy, first-class honors. President Harvey, that concludes the list of those candidates who are here today to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts. President Harvey and President Leahy, I have the honor to present to you the following candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts with combined honors in contemporary studies.
By the powers vested in us by the Senate of Dalhousie and King's Convocation, we confer the degree of Bachelor of Arts with combined honors in contemporary studies on the following candidates.
Molly Britton, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both contemporary studies and philosophy, first-class honors. Megan Kathleen Bulger, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both contemporary studies and history, minor in early modern studies, first-class honors. Dara Christine Carr, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both contemporary studies and classics, first-class honors. Anya Didi, Bachelor of Arts with honors in contemporary studies and English, first-class honors. Neve Lillian Eger, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both contemporary studies and law, justice, and society with a minor in early modern studies, first-class honors. Oh, this is okay. No, I've got your card. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Emily Raquel Gilbert, first class honors in philosophy and contemporary studies. Meredith Neiman Bullock, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both contemporary studies and philosophy, first class honors. Okay, good. Robin Jeanette Mary Gould, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both contemporary studies and philosophy, first class honors. Sophie Harriman, Bachelor of Arts with honors in contemporary studies in English, first class honors. Sorry? Tessa Jeanne Felice Roy Hill, Bachelor of Arts with honors in contemporary studies in English, first class honors, University Medal in Contemporary Studies. James Henry Lee, Bachelor of Arts with honors in contemporary studies and English, first class honors. Hey, Lee. Luke Makala, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both contemporary studies and classics. Holly Rachel Promislow, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both contemporary studies and philosophy, first class honors. Sam Sumner, Bachelor of Arts with honors in contemporary studies in English, first class honors. Lucy Beatrice Boyd, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both early modern studies and history, minor in French, first class honors, University Medal in early modern studies. Elsie Rose Augusta Wimmy Ryder, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both early modern studies and classics, first class honors. And Sam Sharp, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both political science and early modern studies, first class honors. President Harvey and President Leahy, I have the honor now to present to you the following candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts with combined honors in the history of science and technology.
Okay. By the powers vested in us by the Senate of Dalhousie and King's Convocation, we confer the degree of Bachelor of Arts with combined honors in history of science and technology on the following candidates.
James Ursel, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both theater and the history of science and technology, first class honors. L. Hansen, Bachelor of Arts with honors in both history of science and technology and philosophy, with a minor in contemporary studies, first class honors, University Medal in the history of science and technology. President Harvey, I have the honor to present to you the following candidates who have completed the requirements for the degree of the Bachelor of Music.
By the powers vested in us by the Senate of Dalhousie and King's Convocation, we confer the degree of Bachelor of Arts with combined honors in History of Science and Technology on the following candidates.
Kip Keller Kelsey Johnson, Bachelor of Music, distinction. Oh.
Vested in me
Oh, shoot, sorry,
by the
Frank.
Senate of Dalhousie, I confer the degree of Bachelor of Music, including this individual. Thank you.
I have us on
following candidates.
speed, on hyperspeed, right? Sorry. Oh, it gets confusing. There's lots of people coming up. Thank you. Gabrielle Ziff O'Brien, Bachelor of Music, distinction. So, President Harvey, that concludes the list of those candidates who are here today to receive the degree of the Bachelor of Music. So now I'm going to move on. President Harvey, I have the honor to present to you the following candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Science.
By the powers vested in me by the Senate of Dalhousie, I confer the degree of Bachelor of Science on the following candidates.
Kate Barkhouse, Bachelor of Science with honors in microbiology and immunology with a minor in English, first class honors. Allison Stephanie Clark, Bachelor of Science with honors in both physics and mathematics, first class honors. Kaylee Coco, Bachelor of Science, major in biology with a minor in French. Lara Catherine Crone, Bachelor of Science with honors in microbiology and immunology, first class honors. Becca Dupuy, Bachelor of Science, major in biology with a minor in psychology. Frances Hayward, Bachelor of Science with honors in neuroscience and a minor in contemporary studies. Laura Hope Keene, Bachelor of Science with honors in marine biology with a minor in ocean sciences, first class honors. Molly McIntosh, Bachelor of Science, major cooperative in biology with a minor in contemporary studies with distinction. Bryce Mason, Bachelor of Science, major in chemistry. Ethan Cole Merlin, Bachelor of Science, double major in mathematics and sociology and social anthropology. Olivia Annette Moreau, Bachelor of Science, major in neuroscience. Ponto. Nicole Diamond Ponto, Bachelor of Science, major in neuroscience. Anna Sophie Reed, Bachelor of Science, double major in economics and political science, distinction. Ricker? Karina Wells Ricker, Bachelor of Science with honors in biology with a minor in contemporary studies, first class honors. Sophie Louise Shepard, Bachelor of Science, major in neuroscience with a minor in health studies, distinction. Dawson Robert Sutherland, Bachelor of Science with honors in psychology, first class honors. Tonks. Okay, and it's Lilith. Okay. Sophia Lilith Tonks, Bachelor of Science with honors in biology cooperative program, first class honors. How do I do this? It's supposed to be. Okay. Jack Andrew Wotila, Bachelor of Science with honors in biochemistry and molecular biology. President Harvey, that concludes the list of those candidates who are here today to receive the degree of Bachelor of Science. I'm not.
The names of the next degrees will be presented by the Director of Journalism, Professor Valence Jones.
Madam Chancellor, I present to you the following candidates to receive the degree of Bachelor of Journalism with honors.
Causa vivus convocationis esuit gradus orsi confiantur ad negotia igitur procedamos.
Brad John Chandler, Bachelor of Journalism, honors. Haley Starr Dilnot Reed, Bachelor of Journalism, honors. Luke Williams Diamond, Bachelor of Journalism, honors with a minor in economics. First class honors. Sondoz Moataz El Shafi, Bachelor of Journalism, honors. Samuel Jacob Farley, Bachelor of Journalism, honors with a minor in Contemporary Studies. Chase Fitzgerald, Bachelor of Journalism Honors, First Class Honors. Mathieu Alexandre Hébert, Bachelor of Journalism Honors. Adam Leo Innes, Bachelor of Journalism Honors. Ella Garrett McDonald, Bachelor of Journalism Honors with a minor in Political Science, First Class Honors. Hannah Gail Murray, Bachelor of Journalism Honors. Marianne Margaret McClarty, Bachelor of Journalism Honors. Declan Zion Roll, Bachelor of Journalism Honors with a minor in Contemporary Studies. Joseph Allen Thompson, Bachelor of Journalism Honors. Natalia Tola Maldonado, Bachelor of Journalism Honors. Jake Webb, Bachelor of Journalism Honors. Jack Ronahan Wood, Bachelor of Journalism Honors. Madam Chancellor, that concludes the list of those candidates who are here today to receive the degree of Bachelor of Journalism with honors. Madam Chancellor, I present to you the following candidates to receive the degree of Bachelor of Journalism.
Actori Tati, mea etotiatuus, universitatis, admetotead, granum baccalorii unilasmi.
Sabine Antigua, Bachelor of Journalism. Angela Capobianco, Bachelor of Journalism with distinction. Crystal Dawn Green, Bachelor of Journalism. Andrew Yat Long Lam, Bachelor of Journalism with distinction. Kathleen Lynn McKenna, Bachelor of Journalism. Rye Joseph Allen Pembroke, Bachelor of Journalism. Madam Chancellor, that concludes the list of those candidates who are here today to receive the degree of Bachelor of Journalism.
Dr. Adam Donaldson, Faculty of Graduate Studies, its current Dean. Please present the names of those who are receiving the degree of Master of Journalism.
President Harvey and President Leahy, I present to you the following candidates to receive the degree of Master of Journalism.
Victoritate nobis e senatu Dalhusiani et convocatione collegi e regalis data. Admittimus te ad gradium magistri journalismi.
Megan Kathleen Bird, Master of Journalism. Jianfu Lan, Master of Journalism. Ben Litvak, Master of Journalism. Hillary Elizabeth McInnes, Master of Journalism. Ebo Rangel, Master of Journalism. Ben Roth, Master of Journalism. Avery Irene Stewart, Master of Journalism. Shlok Talati, Master of Journalism. Kaylee Brianna Young, Master of Journalism. President Harvey and President Leahy, this concludes the list of those candidates who are here today to receive the degree of Master of Journalism. President Harvey and President Leahy, I present to you the following candidates to receive the degree of Master of Fine Arts in Creative Nonfiction.
Auctoritate nobis a senatu dolhusian e convocazione collegi regalis data admittimus te ad grandum magistri artum elegantium.
Yasmin Afshar, Master of Fine Arts. Paula Maria Arad, Master of Fine Arts. Nico Bell, Master of Fine Arts. Katie Bourgeois, Master of Fine Arts. Melanie Ann Chambers, Master of Fine Arts. Valerie Chalignat, Master of Fine Arts. Jenny Chen, Master of Fine Arts. David Andrew Clark, Master of Fine Arts. Tara Isabel Cookson, Master of Fine Arts. Michelle Brigitte Doyle, Master of Fine Arts. Deborah Marie Dundas, Master of Fine Arts. Thelma Mary Christine Thale, Master of Fine Arts. Amy Fish, Master of Fine Arts. Lana Amy Hall, Master of Fine Arts. Joel Thomas Hines, Master of Fine Arts. Basima Kavana, Master of Fine Arts. John Patrick Larson, Master of Fine Arts. Angus McCall, Master of Fine Arts. Faye Martin, Master of Fine Arts. Emily Margaret Papel, Master of Fine Arts. David Pate, Master of Fine Arts. Helga Dorothea Roche, Master of Fine Arts. Joanne Roberts, Master of Fine Arts. Liz Van Berkel, Master of Fine Arts. Sherry White, Master of Fine Arts. Dorothy Edna Wigmore, Master of Fine Arts. President Harvey and President Leahy, that concludes the list of those candidates who are here today to receive the degree of Master of Fine Arts.
Domina Cancellaria, praesento vobis Catharinam R. Burton, ut admitator ad gradum doctoris in iure civili honoris causa. Before becoming Chief of Staff for the City of Boston in 2020, Catherine Burton served as Vice Chair of the city's Rose F. Kennedy Greenway. This vibrant swath of green space, public squares, and cultural hub points runs in a lush line through several historic neighborhoods, replacing an outmoded, physically divisive, and ugly elevated highway. By replacing a barrier with a porous gathering place for citizens to enjoy natural and artistic beauty in common, the Greenway keeps traditional districts intact, while at the same time opening them to each other and all. Important as Ms. Burton's many other public service appointments have been, her affiliation with a project like the Greenway is emblematic of her life and career to date. For Catherine Burton is by upbringing, education, and choice a crosser of borders. She seeks to translate meaning and facilitate communication for those dwelling on either side, thereby building communities with better self-awareness and integrity. A citizen of the traditional territory of Mi'kma'ki in its broadest extent, Ms. Burton was born in the Eskasoni Mi'kmaq First Nation in Nova Scotia, as well as being a member of several other Mi'kmaq communities, including the Membertou First Nation in Cape Breton and the Listuguch and Gesgasbiagiag First Nations in Quebec. She's a dual citizen of Canada and the United States, and one of her first jobs was as an officer of Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. Having come to King's Foundation Year program in 1994 as a Dr. Carrie Best Scholar, she completed a joint honors in the then new Contemporary Studies program in 1998. After an MA at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire, Ms. Burton began her Boston-based career with the Barbara Lee Foundation, which advocates for women's equality and representation in American politics and contemporary art. Following that, she ran the successful campaign of Steve Grossman for Massachusetts State Treasurer, subsequently serving as his chief of staff. When Mayor Marty Walsh named her to the same post for Boston in 2020, that city and the world was at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The first Indigenous person in Boston's history to hold the position, Ms. Burton gained high accolades for her management of that crisis, which included the 5-day completion of a field hospital for overflow patients. She is profiled in retired U.S. Army General Stanley McChrystal's 2021 book, Risk, A User's Guide, which gives her determined communication strategy special notice. Upon Marty Walsh's appointment as Secretary of Labor by President Biden in 2021, Ms. Burton became a partner in Boston's Sparks Street Capital. She's an advisor to Harvard's Institute of Politics and the Association of Marshall Scholars, among other prominent clients. She has served on the board of the Boston Children's Museum and is currently on the board of the Canadian American Business Council, which fosters dialogue between private and business sectors in the two countries. Over the past several years, King's has embarked on a journey towards reconciliation in partnership with the Mi'kmaq Nation. At the center of that partnership is the commitment King's has made to pay the tuition of up to 3 Mi'kmaq students per year who are pursuing an honors degree in journalism. Always a proud alumna of the college, in response to this initiative, Ms. Burton volunteered to share her expertise in institutional mobilization, organization, and communication by serving on the college's new Mi'kmaq Indigenous Advisory Circle, Mawagnuutmaktenej. We are honored to welcome her back to the Quad. Madam Chancellor, for exceptional public service in the betterment of her communities, her leadership in creating mutual understanding across cultural and national boundaries, and her inspirational embodiment of the power of a King's education, I ask you, in the name of King's College, to confer upon Catherine R. Burton the degree of Doctor of Civil Laws, honoris causa.
Everyone, thank you so much. We're clear about your enthusiasm, but the degree has not yet been awarded.
Thank you, Tom. Placitne convocati oni ut grados doctores ignore civili conferral autor in Catherine Burton vocatum. Placitne vobis domini doctores.
Plaquet.
Placitne vobis magistri.
Plaquet.
Haec gratia concessa e sic pronuntio concessum. Auctoritate mea et totius universitatis admittoe te admitto the adguanum doctores ignore civili in universitates nostra collegii regalii in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Admittote ad donum convocati onis.
Domina Cancellaria, praesento vobis cine Bergam quirens, ut admitator ad gradum doctoris in iure civili honoris causa. During the first 2 centuries of King's history, students often read the Latin poet Horace, ensconced in the curriculum as an elegant sage of common sense and tempered passions. One of Horace's most emblematic odes ends with the following lines, quoted from a serviceable but free translation by a 20th century alumnus. When tough weather stresses the sturdy breast, breathe deep, then show up, hardy and heady. When that same chest swells with breezy success, reef your puffed sheets, be cautious and ready. The admonition caps a series of recommendations for the lover of the aurea mediocritas, the golden mean, that well-desired but elusive middle place of thoughtful calm between too little and too much in every imaginable situation. We are uncertain if Kim Kieran's read Horace as an undergraduate of classics and political science at King's in the early 80s. But her subsequent career in journalism, academic teaching, and administration is a living monument to the spirit of his ageless advice, as well as a demonstration that the middle ground can provide both an elevated vantage point and a platform for the practice of transcendent virtue. Surely, Kim's time as a CBC Maritimes regional reporter between 1976 and 1998 inculcated the skills of mediation that have served her and others in her personal and professional interactions. Work in the media requires cautious and circumspect reporters to negotiate the space between their sources and their public. These heralds of truth must have the empathy to divine the desires of the latter to know, as well as empathy for the reluctance of the former to disclose. In interpreting information in writing or broadcast, They act as secular mediums of the occult or hidden. In 1998, Kim began to translate her expertise to generations of students in the King's School of Journalism, remaining a professor there until her recent retirement. From 2003 to 2010, she served as director of the school, making further contributions to national and international journalism, particularly in the areas of education and ethics. Internationally, her efforts have been especially noteworthy in Malaysia and Cambodia and the Philippines, where she was adjunct faculty member at the Asian Center of Journalism at the Ateneo de Manila University. In Canada, she's taken a number of important advisory roles in governmental and non-governmental organizations, and she's been director of the Michener Awards Foundation, as well as chair of the judging committee for its prestigious awards for public service journalism. She's currently a senior fellow and resident at Massey College at the University of Toronto, where she's been writing a book, her third, about public service journalism. Perhaps no role tested Kim's cultivation of the golden mean as that of vice president of the college between 2010 and 2017, a time of significant challenge and transition for King's. As the lead in countless initiatives, the quiet supporter of even more, and at all times the patient, wise, and supremely competent mediatrix omnium partum, mediator of all parties, from students to faculty to administration to staff to alumni. Often golden, never mean, occasionally at the forefront, more usually unseen, Kim has set a standard for service and integrity that remains as strong as our collective gratitude for it. Madam Chancellor, for her dedication to the highest principles of journalism, her commitment to its power for positive social change, and for her outstanding service to our university, I ask you, in the name of King's College, to bestow upon English professor Kim Kierans the degree of Doctor of Civil Laws, honoris causa.
Placitne convocationi ut grados doctores eiore civili conferrator in Kim Kierans vocatum. Placitne vobis domini doctores.
Placet.
Placitne vobis magistri.
Placet.
Haec gratia concessa e sic pronuntio concessum. Octoctitori me et totius universitates admito di ad granum doctores ignore civili in universitates nostra collegii regulalis in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Admittote ad donum convocationis. Convocationem dissolvimus.
President Leahy, you now have further duties.
We're almost there. The Governor General's Medal, established in 1873, is one of the most prestigious awards that can be received by a student in a Canadian educational institution for exceptional academic achievement. The University of King's College Governor General's Silver Medal recognizes academic and journalistic excellence. It is awarded to a journalism student who is graduating with first-class honors in the Bachelor of Journalism honors degree program, or with distinction in the one-year post-baccalaureate Bachelor of Journalism degree program, who has shown significant professional development during his, her, or their time in the journalism program of the School of Journalism, Publishing, and Writing, and stands the highest among their peers. This year, something extraordinary in the history of King's happened. We were fortunate to have two students with identical grade point averages, both entitled to this award. So the first that I'm going to tell you about is Anna Mandan. Now, I think that deserves a little round of applause. So I hope Anna is watching on live stream. Incredibly curious, a great listener, and unafraid to ask difficult questions, Anna demonstrates all the hallmarks of a successful journalist. Anna achieved her near-perfect GPA while going to school remotely during a global pandemic. Throughout her 4 years, she showed tremendous character. She also has a nose for news. One afternoon during the fourth year news workshop, Anna flew out of the newsroom door to cover a house fire. Not knowing what to expect and with no time to prepare, nothing could stop Anna. She got her interviews and photographs all on a very tight deadline. She was able to capture the tension and worry of that moment and tell a compelling story. During the same workshop, she was wandering through a local farmer's market when something caught her eye. That led to an enterprise story that you'll learn more about soon. In the winter video workshop, she snagged an impactful interview with a Ukrainian family as they arrived in Halifax at midnight after fleeing their home with only a wisp of an idea of where they would live. Anna also took on a story in another province about a university that sought to oust a student living with mental illness. That tenacity showed in her final workshop when she spent day after day over several weeks quietly observing Nova Scotia's legislative librarian. Her goal was to write a 2,000-word article that is sharp, smooth, and shiny. That requires writing one draft, then another, until the words soar. Anna reached such heights that her piece was published online by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, where she also did her internship. Anna brings a certain kind of lighthearted joy that endears her both to her colleagues and to the people she interviews. She is not afraid to poke fun at herself. She is also curious and inquisitive and good at asking questions, a quality noted by several of her instructors. She was also happy to help fellow students, her kind nature always showing through. It is with great pleasure that I can present the 2023 Governor General's Silver Medal in absentia to Anna Mandan. Our second recipient of the Governor General's Silver Medal is Ella MacDonald. Ella, There's a condition to getting this award. You have to come up and join me on the stage. Yeah. You're going to have to stand here for a minute while I read these nice things about you. In her final year in the Bachelor's of Journalism honors, Ella MacDonald blossomed as a videographer. Her instructor in the video workshop noted that Ella demonstrates tremendous talent and initiative and strong leadership skills as a show producer. She was always eager to take feedback and advance her skills. Notably, Ella was the only student in her class to use the most advanced documentary camera, traveling to Lunenburg to tell a story about the province's first exotic fruit nursery. Hope for the future. Capturing stunning imagery of exotic citrus fruit growing not far from the frigid North Atlantic Ocean. Through that story, Ella also showed her ability to change course when necessary. She was working on another story altogether, but one of the subjects of that story caught COVID-19 and had to cancel. Ella called her instructor and calmly pitched the nursery story as her backup with beautiful results. Ella is described by one of her instructors as one of the hardest working students with whom he ever worked. Another called her relentless. She showed that mettle during her second year when her class was entirely online due to COVID lockdowns and worked from home with equipment sent from the school. Ella's achievements weren't limited to video. In the winter news workshop, Ella consistently captured strong portraits showing immense talent with still photography. Ella wrapped up her 4 years at King's in the advanced video workshop. Video documentary requires journalism students to be collaborative, self-motivated, and creative, qualities Ella possesses in abundance. Her instructor said she was keen to learn and engage in discussions. Over the intense 6-week workshop, Ella's storytelling skills grew, and along with her project partner, she crafted a compelling documentary that we can expect to see in future film festivals. Since classes ended, Ella has been interning at Global News Halifax. It is with great pleasure I present the 2023 Governor General Silver Medal to Ella MacDonald. That's amazing. Okay, well done. Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Oh, okay, good. You can tell we don't rehearse. The King's Medal is awarded to the graduating student who stands highest in an honors program in an arts or science subject. The winner of the King's Medal for 2023 is Allison Clark. Allison has graduated with a Bachelor of Science with combined honors in physics and mathematics and has achieved first-class honors. Her academic record demonstrates an incredibly strong grade point average across all years of study at King's and Dalhousie. Allison is an exemplary student, a shining star in her department, and a natural leader. Allison's instructors remark that she stands out not only for her aptitude for the material, but also because of her enthusiasm and the insightful questions she asks in class. Among several scholarships, Allison won the prestigious Burgess McKittrick Award from the Physics and Atmospheric Science Department, which is given to the highest ranked student in our first year physics course, and there's more than 400 students in that course, who is then majoring in physics. In 2020, Allison began a summer work term that focused on quantum-related research topics. The project involved carrying out numerical simulations of optically driven excitons in semiconductor quantum dot systems. I think I prefer the Latin. Allison's supervisor, Dr. Kimberly Hall, remarks that Allison approached her work with boundless energy and enthusiasm, with a level of organization and commitment that she had seen in very few students. Allison's contributions to the research project led to a publication in APL Photonic with Allison as a co-author. Considerable attention was given internationally to the research in the quantum optics field, a feat rarely achieved by an undergraduate student. Allison's theoretical work was extended to experimental work, building a new pulse shaper for quantum control for her honors project, entitled Implementation of Pulse Shaping Techniques for Ultrafast Spectroscopy. I'm getting tired just reading this. Allison had been an active participant in the Department of Physics and Atmospheric Sciences EDIA Committee, as well as the Student Success, Engagement, and Diversity Committee since its inception. Allison has been an active voice in positive change for the department, including a student-led renovation of the undergrad lounge, increased student representation on departmental committees, and social events. Allison has taken the lead in organizing groups of fellow students to attend important student conferences, such as the Canadian Undergraduate Physics Conference, Atlantic Undergraduate Physics and Astronomy Conference, and the Canadian Conference for Graduate Women in Physics. In addition to performing exceptionally well in her academic work, Allison was also a member of the women's basketball team at King's in 2018 and 19, and again in 2019 and 20. A good teammate and supportive of her fellow players, Allison was one of the recipients of the Deborah Dean and Robert Little Scholarship in both 2020 and 2023. Allison has chosen a future path that combines her love for research and optics with her passion for the environment by pursuing solar cell research in her graduate studies in physics at the University of Ottawa. We are so happy to celebrate Allison's outstanding achievements she has made during her time at King's and Dalhousie. It gives me great pleasure to present the King's Medal to Allison Clark. We're going to get a picture right here, okay? Oh, yes, indeed, yes. This is Allison's dad. You're very welcome, Allison. Well done.
Well, after that extraordinary fumble, we are granting Dr. Burton extra time to give her convocation address.
Thank you. I'm going to keep it short because I know I am between you and your families and meals and celebrations. I do have to, before my formal remarks, say that when the Chancellor noted, "Is it agreeable to you, doctors?" my hands were sweating. And I realized it's like right before marriage where they say, "Does anyone object?" So thank you for not objecting. Gui, thank you, Chancellor Dean Little, Minister Wong, Bishop Fife, Board Chair Ruck, President Leahy, President Harvey, my fellow doctorate in President Kieran's, special guests, faculty members, students, families, friends, and all those who supported the graduates in front of us today. Thank you. To the class of 2023, that's all of you, take a bow, revel in this moment. You did it. Some of you did it by planning, methodically executing, reading everything signed and turning in your papers early. Others, well, you just winged it, and that's okay as well. Yeah, yes. You started your papers the night before they were due. You skimmed your readings. You requested extensions. And you may have fallen off the chair when asked to connect your biblical readings to Baroque art, which is vaguely a question that I recall getting during my oral exam. So congratulations if you didn't fall off the chair, and I apologize if you also received that question. Somehow I pulled it out. To my family, my father, Kevin, my husband, Chad, my mother-in-law, Beatrice, my two sons, Miles and Graydon, I love you. My nieces, Tia, Shea, Taryn, my nephews, Buzzmai, Brandon, Lyle, my sister-in-law, Vicky, and her son, Buzzmai, I could not be here without you. To my cousin, Karen Pictou, the executive director of the Nova Scotia Native Women's Association, thank you, and Destiny for creating this beautiful piece of art. To my uncle Bobby, my cousins Sherry, Shannon, Brent, and Emily Pictou, your auntie in residence, I'm grateful for all of you and all of my relations. And of course, to all of our ancestors who are no longer with us on this heavenly earth, but continue to guide us, Walaliok. If you're wondering why I'm up here, I'm wondering the same. I told President Leahy, anything for Kings, I'm here. He said, would you speak today? And I said, absolutely not, sir. But here we are. I stand on the shoulders of others who have come before me. Dr. Marie Baptiste, Dr. Mardina Marshall, who did her thesis at Harvard and Mi'kmaq. Elder Sister Dorothy Moore, an educator committed to not only the church, but to her people. Dr. Janine Metallic at McGill University, and Vicky's sister. Catherine Ann Martin, an academic force who also housed my brother when he needed a place to lay his head. My father always wanted me to get a PhD, so thank you, Kings, for allowing me to check off something off my to-do list. And as you can imagine, my to-do list grows every day, so thank you. You don't get to choose your wounds in life. You do, however, choose how to move forward. My wounds are ancestral and generational. It's hard to acknowledge the trauma, but here I stand. The university kindly accepted me into their doors in 1994 as a Dr. Carrie Best scholar and allowed me to graduate in 1998. I did double check that my bills were paid off while visiting this beautiful campus a few months ago. I also want to thank Kings for keeping me humble with my first ever C. Thank you. So back to why I am here. It is the strength of my mothers and those who came before me, the trailblazers. I may be a lot of firsts, the first Indigenous Chief of Staff to the City of Boston Mayor Martin J. Walsh, the first Indigenous Chief of Staff for the former Massachusetts State Treasurer Steve Grossman, but those are merely titles. Everyone has advised me to tell my deeper story, the personal side. An elder once told me that when I speak from the heart, it allows that space for healing. I'm speaking to allow that healing despite my initial note of President Leahy. My Uncle Bobby and Aunt Audrey forced in the Shuby Residential School. Yet, as a family, we do not talk about it. Other elders tell me their survival stories, and yet so many of those stories are buried with the bodies for those who never came back. We will never know, but we carry forward honoring them with proper burials when we can. That healing takes time. It takes patience. It forces one to be vulnerable. My mother got caught in the Bill C-31 fight. That bill enabled the federal government to strip my mother's Native status, as well as her children because she married a non-Native man. But it also handed over status to non-Native women and their children who married Native men. In her letter to the editor dated March 9th, 1982, not that long ago, my mom wrote, "In the final analysis, no amount of cost estimates, special studies, or legislation will change my rightful heritage." She pushed against the hypocrisy, but more than that, she always said, never allow the government to define who you are. So what did I do? Naturally, I chose to work in the bureaucracy, to redefine it at every level, federal, state, and local. I did that to be at the table as policies were shaped, learn how to navigate complicated situations, and try to prevent unintended consequences for policies that no one anticipated. My family lived in a motel after my brother was struck by a car in Gaskabegiak. I recall seeing his shoes on the highway and wondering why he would leave them behind, not realizing the impact of the crash threw him out of his shoes. We didn't always have food or money, but we had love. We moved a lot. I was bullied, called a nerd, punched, hip-checked, you name it. My sons tell me where my glasses ended, my braces started. No lies detected. Thank you for always keeping me humble as well, boys. I have a foot in two worlds, and somehow it's my mission to be a translator in the way that my mom was a court translator in Mi'kmaq after the Donald Marshall Jr. Royal Commission. I have lost one brother to cancer. The other is still with us, but lost to mental illness. We all have our wounds, we all have our stories, and yet we move on. I'm here for many other reasons. One is to honor my mother, who passed in 1999, and my brother, who passed in 2019, both at the young age of 56. My first Encaenia was here. I didn't sit exactly where you were sitting, but the concept's the same. I would lose my mother a year later to cancer. She stayed with me in Halifax, actually while I attended King's to get radiation treatment that she could not get in Unamagi. She stayed alive long enough to meet her granddaughter, Shea Sark, and to attend my ceremony here. Her hair was gone due to chemo. She was surely exhausted, but she was determined. That's her first life lesson. I promise a few more, take them or leave them. And finally, the commitment that the University of King's College has taken on reconciliation. It's easy to say words, it's another to do. President Leahy, Professor Roach, Emily, and the Board of Governors are doing what much larger institutions with more money, people, and resources should be doing, but King's is doing it. Take this not as a criticism to anyone else in any other higher educational institution, but rather a challenge to step up and join us. Collectively, we are all more powerful to make real, impactful change. My next commencement ceremony was at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire, where I received my master's degree. They don't use fancy words like Encaenia, but they charge a lot more in tuition. It was my graduation year. It was not my graduation year, actually. I was just being nosy and listening. You may have heard of him, Mr. Rogers. He was calming, poised, and reminded us to be kind to ourselves and others. Please be kind to yourselves and others. The next speech I heard was my actual commencement year, and it was the famous Irish author David McAuliffe. He shared wonderful wisdom, but the one that stood out was to always, always leave money for the people who clean your hotel room. If that's all I impart on you, please thank his memory. That graduation was special for me, for it was my brother, Mark Sark, who presented me with my eagle feather and a wooden box he had made. I didn't know I would lose him at the same age as my mother. I suppose that's my next lesson. You never know when your last memorable moments will be with someone. So take heart in your relationships and always say Namultus, which loosely translates in Mi'kmaq to see you soon, versus goodbye, which has a more definitive end. So, what is your classical education going to do, and how is it going to bring you forward? Can't tell you, and who the heck knows. Did I ever imagine I would be back to where my academic journey started? Did I ever think I would race around the country volunteering for presidential campaigns, running local and statewide political campaigns in the United States? And no, we don't know what happened in 2016 when Trump got elected. Please continue to respect our privacy at this time. Did I imagine myself taking on the role of Chief of Staff to then Boston Mayor Marty Walsh, and before I started was told to shut down the city for this new virus that people were concerned about? Absolutely not, because I had plans. I had organizational charts prepared, I had transition notes ready, staffing changes, you name it. I was ready. But the world had a different plan. If COVID taught us anything, it was that we must be able to embrace uncertainty. The good news is that I got to skip out on the human resources video. The mayor went on to become the Secretary of Labor for President Biden and now heads the NHL Players Association, so I got my Canadian street cred back again. During that shutdown, I had a whiteboard next to my desk in City Hall that read, "There is no script, there is no manual, there is no playbook." And there wasn't. But when I left, I ensured there was. You may all have plans on next careers. You may have your life mapped out. You may already know where you were going, what you were doing, and when. Congratulations, I'm still figuring out what I'm going to do when I grow up. But here is where my classical education did come in. The history, the readings, the papers, and yes, even those oral exams all came to a head, and I used every single ability to critically think, push back respectfully, move people forward, cite the missing Dante's circles of purgatory, including but not limited to, well, COVID. I can tell you to make your bed in the morning, and you've already accomplished something in your day, but that's already been said by Admiral William McRaven. I can tell you that life will be wondrous, and you will take on the world, and you will. But there will be challenges. Step into your power. Don't admire the problem, fix it. Don't ruminate too long, make a decision. It's okay if it doesn't turn out the way you want. It's the way it was meant to be. Okay, I've got 5 more minutes to inspire the next generation. I'm gonna leave it all on the ice. I'm gonna pull the goalie. I'm gonna give it my best shot. I don't wanna leave anything out there, so here goes. No need to take notes. You can watch it back on YouTube or not, never again. Always tip well. Always say please and thank you. Kindness truly does matter. Don't worry. Forget that line. I don't even know what that one was. Fake it until you make it, as I said often walking up here. Don't overpack. Volunteer. Travel if you can. Tell your loved ones you love them. Be an ally. Don't worry about societal norms or mores within reason. In other words, don't get arrested. Play the long game. Know that people will remember what you said and when, and that can come back to be hugely successful or a detriment. Don't worry about what others think. Seriously, you expend too much energy. Tell those that you love them. Be respectful. Cry, laugh, scream. Feel your emotions. Ask for help if you need it. No one will judge. Call your friends. Heck, even write a thank you note on occasion. Pick up the phone. The medium as the message still holds true. Your voice is the message people want to hear. Print out those digital photos. They somehow mean more when you can hold them in your hands. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to succeed. And don't wonder if you are qualified enough, good enough. You are, period. You will have your own story, your own crises, your own sacrifices. Like me, you will look to people who have experience, who can provide a sense of history as you navigate your own path. Sooner than you think, you will be asked to lead. And when that time comes, listen and respect all the voices in the room. Tough decisions require tough stands, and not everyone will be happy or agree. Your job is to make people feel that they have been heard, their positions validated, but stand behind the decision once it's been made. And always follow through. One criticism of government is promises are made, but no one sees the results. Show the results. Explain everything in a way that everyone can understand. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. I had a sticker above my work computer monitor that read, "You got this." Did I have it all the time? Absolutely not, but that's what epitomizes the opportunities and challenges that draw us to our passions and keep us humble. The values, principles, and beliefs that are important to you will keep you grounded. And don't forget Kings as you continue your journey. It's where you came to discover a part of yourself. You will draw on those lessons. I still do, and so will you. Trust me. Look at me now, Mom and Mark. A while ago.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for this very elaborate ceremony, and to all the speeches, especially Dr. Burton, thank you very much. To everyone who traveled here today, and congratulations to everyone who has come up on this stage today. You have graduated. It is almost time to leave this auditorium and begin the real party. But before that, as your valedictorian, I've been nominated to come up here and say a few closing words for your time at university. In writing this speech, I found myself struggling to say something that really felt like it could somehow relate to everyone's university experience. The reality is that there is no one way that we all arrived at receiving our degrees today. Beyond the standard ways that university experiences often differ between people, we were also one of the lucky classes who got to experience Zoom school during one of the most widespread global pandemics since the Spanish flu. We are different than we were before university. At the very least, I know I can say that. We also came to King's during a time of ongoing institutional change. This university has very publicly had to grapple with its history and acknowledge the ways in which King's culture is not always safe or inclusive. But where there is negative, there is also positive. Some of you may have had the best years of your life so far at King's. Others may be ready to grab their degree and run out the door. And as such, while I'm up here today, I know I can't speak for everyone, nor do I intend to. Instead, I want to take this time to encourage personal reflection amongst you all and to say thank you to the community and the people I met here and that I'm going to miss very much. I feel very honored to be up here, and I'm thrilled that this day has come. I'm even more thrilled that I get to see all of you in person. It is remarkable to look around the room and see where all of us have ended up, even though we may have started in similar places. I'm sure many of us recall hurriedly reading the Epic of Gilgamesh the morning of the first FIP lecture, trying to understand what exactly it was that you were supposed to be getting out of this book. Or maybe you read it a week early and had already taken detailed notes on it. We're all different. Regardless of this beginning, you've somehow ended up here. Not at an ending, but at something more like a checkpoint. I'm amazed at the vast amount of ways that people took this one book from ancient Mesopotamia and somehow jumped into widely different areas of study. Where else in the world can you get from discussing Enkidu and Gilgamesh's sexuality to knowing everything about badass proto-feminist nuns, to critically analyzing the performance of girlhood on the internet, to journalism reporting in Mi'kmaq communities, to EU migration, sci-fi movies, library disability studies, or curing diseases? People find these passions through a community that prioritizes encouragement and conversation, through a good professor or two or three, and some friends who actually care about what you have to say. At King's, when someone starts to talk your ear off about something they care about, they're received with the warm invitation, "Tell me more." In most other places, you might find that trying to tell someone about 17th century French costuming might make them run in a different direction. This community is made infinitely better by the students and faculty who see enthusiasm and create opportunity. They let people be as weird and bright as they could ever possibly want to be. The community spirit rests on many years of tireless work done by students and student organizers. You all have created this atmosphere together. The point I'm getting at here is that the class of 2023 cares a lot about some of the most diverse things in the world. That's proven through the big wins we've gotten with the university, even just in our time here, like the hiring of wonderful equity, accessibility, and sexual health and safety officers, the creation of the Disabled Students Collective, the new Racialized Students Collective Room, and the King's Food Security Initiative. You have made this university better because you care. About your own interests, sure, but also about each other. These are huge strides undertaken by people in this graduating class, and you should all be very proud of yourselves for the systemic changes you've contributed to King's. I thank the members of the graduating class for the work they have done to make things better. On that note, it is exciting to me that the people in this room will go to the ends of the earth about the things they care about, and you will certainly find them in some very weird but necessary places. We need more people in the world that care, that are smart, compassionate, and who can write a 12,000-word essay in an hour if they really had to. I have no doubt in my mind that many of you will go off to do wonderful, incredible things for the benefit of yourselves and your families, but also for the benefit of others who might need assistance more than you do. You are all smart, well-read people. I implore you to use your gifts for good. You may not know where your talents or gifts are going to go exactly, and that's okay. It's been a great comfort to me in my life that my own father, like Dr. Burton, still doesn't know what he wants to do when he grows up. You may not know where you're going, but you've got to get there anyway. Your time at King's has hopefully already been a masterclass in jumping off the proverbial deep end. Here, read 50 books and huge compilations of texts. Do a journalism intensive or write a whole book. Making it to this stage today is proof that you can handle some ridiculous circumstances. You experienced a global pandemic. Some of you learned ancient Greek. Yeah, cheers for that, please. And some of us even had to read Hegel. That was the worst part. If that isn't proof that you'll be okay, I don't know what is. I hope we can all find what we're looking for. I think that some of the best joy that I found in my degree was finding other students and professors who would help me feel like I was just where I needed to be. The future might be bright, but I want to bring us back to the moment right here for a second. This celebration today is important on so many levels. You are done the hard work of being an undergraduate student or of getting your master's. Your friends and families and faculty are here because they care, or at the very least because they might get free sherry later. Today we celebrate together, but there's also something to be said for each of your own personal achievements. Today is the product of many years of your hard work and of the people that came before you. I am reminded of something I was told once, the idea that you are your grandmother's prayers. It's a powerful but meaningful idea that you are not alone in your path and that all that you have achieved is so great it could have only been imagined as a dream by those who came before you. Some of you are the very first in your families to hold a bachelor's or a master's degree. Some of you may have even been the first person in your family to graduate high school. While we should all celebrate each other as individuals, take some care to thank all of those who may have come before you in some way. Take a look at your degree and realize that you did that, and it's a huge deal. Sure, the important lesson might have been the friends we made along the way, but it was also definitely the degree, so don't understate that. I realize that my time is nearly up, and I do have to let you all know I'm really bad at endings. I tend to get really weepy. But these last few weeks, I've felt better by being deeply present in the moments that I'm in. There's a part of my brain that acknowledges the last time for every little thing, but I can't be sad at this one. A good friend of mine once told me, when you know that a community is coming to an end, remember how it felt. And remember that you can bring all of the good that you felt then, all the love, the motivation, all the joy, you can take that with you to every other aspect of your life. There's no reason why the rest of your life should not build off of the good that you created and that you felt here. Maybe for you it was a certain level of intellectual challenge, or friendship, or companionship, or the feeling of meeting your first love. The memories from these experiences don't go away easily. From this perspective, there's nothing to mourn. I'd like to leave you with a final note of gratitude. My life is forever changed by so many of you in the graduating class, from dear friends to acquaintances, whose small passing conversations still stay with me. I hope you can take some time to thank each other for what you've shared, to give each other a hug, pour each other an extra glass of Prosecco later, or to linger in the doorway just a bit longer until you really do need to go home. What a special thing this was, for better or for worse. May we continue to learn, may we continue to appreciate each other while we're here. Keep in touch. Thank you for your time and enjoy your evening.
We'll ask Bishop Sandra, please, to send us on our way.
First, I'd like to thank you for welcoming me here again to King's. I didn't sit where you're sitting today, but I was here for foundation year in 1984 to 85. King's also taught me a lesson in humility. I also received my first C here. It must be a badge of honor. I also carried around my FIP handbooks through every move I made in my life, and I moved a lot, and I only recycled them in my last move, which was this past year, because I think there's something about this place and about the learning that you kind of want to hold on to. It sort of gets to be a part of who you are. So treasure that, treasure that, the experiences you've had here with each other in this place and with the faculty and all the people who've helped you along the way. Life is short, and we do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who walk this way with us. So be swift to love and make haste to be kind. And the blessing of God, Creator, Redeemer, Sustainer, be among you, be upon you this day, and be with you forevermore. Amen.
Please stand for the national anthem.